Yes, I knew flower this on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one after the Hon.Priest Isaac. Some boy fi know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where Priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story fi tell. Yes, yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal, them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. Priest Isaac on the whole mountain. Him block a reverence on the whole mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I take a Isaro Einin. So proud yes to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel.
Yes, we do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. And of course, wonderful joy, happiness, heart of love, I definitely greet each and every one. Blessed love, Honorable Priest Isaac with you. Of course, you know you have stepped into the tiger's nest, the realms of the mystic moment, the mystic vibration, of course, definitely with you. And before I go any further, I would just like to remind everyone that we are now broadcasting from radioanu.com. radioanu.com. Of course, we have established Radio Anu, and we are broadcasting right from Anu, that is Antigua within the Caribbean. And the description will have the link for radioanu.com. If you have any problem whatsoever locating us, you could go straight into the description of this video that I'm uploading here, and you could click on and listen to the information and inspiration that we are now giving you from radioanu.com. And I would definitely like to thank all of those who have already, logged in and have become a part of the Radio Anu family, and of course only greater things that are there to come. Now, this day we want to go into the realms of, as the title said, Atlantis here in the Caribbean. And before I go too far, let me just say, now Atlantis and continents like Mu, for those who may not know of Atlantis, most would know, at least you would have heard of Atlantis, and Mu, many may not know of the continent Mu. But both Mu and Atlantis are considered to be great ancient continents that sunk in the oceans that, for example, the Atlantic Ocean, which basically bears the name of the Atlantis, the great city / continent. Some refer to it as an island that supposedly sank in the Atlantic Ocean. And the same thing can be said of the continent of Mu, which again we are led to believe by some, and some disbelieve, that it sank in the Pacific. Now, whether there was a continent that went by the name Atlantis that sunk in the Atlantic Ocean, or whether there was a continent by the name of Mu that sunk in the Pacific, okay, let's assume that's up in the air. But what we know is facts now. You can't deny this, that there are cities, there are continents, civilizations that have sunk, that we can dive in the ocean and find the remains of communities, of pyramids, just off the coast of Japan. You would find ancient structures, ancient artifacts that have sunk. Now, the mystic is that Japan and islands like the Pacific Islands and even Hawaii are considered to be the remnants of this great continent Mu. But again, I'm not going to battle over the existence and the reality of Mu and Atlantis. But what I would say is that I don't think there's anyone at all that could dare try to even deny that there was something once above the water that is now beneath the water. And you find these sunken cities and establishments and civilizations under the ocean. So, and we understand naturally the movements of the tectonic plates. And we understand naturally that even Mount Everest, it never rests. Because Mount Everest, which is considered to be the tallest mountain on the planet according to them, Mount Everest is rising 3 inches every year. So obviously it is still going up. And this is why we understand the reality. I think the city name was Uber, it was, if I'm not mistaken, that sank somewhere there in Arabia. And of course, those that have, went to the bottom of the sea and have discovered this. So the mystic is that we understand we are living on a living planet. And we don't want to get religious and argue over names. But the ancient city of Atlantis, whatever name you want to give to it, what we are going to do today is to bring that city into existence. And we will be making a specific connection with Antigua, which is where I am. And I'm going to tell you, we're bringing primary evidence. But I think at this point, I think that I have the authority to speak in a specific way, because my primary evidence for this subject is not necessarily what is carved in some stone, although stones will be a very integral part of this discussion here. But my primary evidence is the mystics, the esoteric evidence that we have compiled. Now basically, I was born on the island of Antigua, 108 square miles. And there's a mystic within the realms where I have highlighted this in a previous video right here on the YouTube channel that you could go and look into. And I showed some pictures of the megaliths that can be seen at Green Castle Hill, which is in Antigua. Now, one of the links that I made, let me start there, is that when you, first of all, you could understand the importance of the River Nile, which is referred to as the Gihon in the Bible. You see, it's not just the River Nile and Kemet and the pyramids and, the merry-go-round discussion. It's deep. It's deep. Because the fact that we can link now this river of life, how unique it is in the way that it flows, etc., and yet still its alignment is very similar, if not a perfect mirror of the movement of the Milky Way going across the heavens. Many would argue what that Milky Way is, but whatever it is, the alignment of the Milky Way is perfect to the alignment of the movement of the River Nile. That's why it's called the Milky Way, because this land is flowing with rivers of milk and honey. So here you have the river on the planet aligned with the river in the sky. Very mystic. Now, we all comprehend that it is on the banks of this river. Not only do we have civilization in general, but just creation, life, and existence finds its space on the banks of the River Nile. So this is why it's so key. Now, I showed in the book that we put together entitled Anu, Ancient and Modern on the Lalabella Executive Productions. We showed that at a specific point, the River Nile has a similar shape in its movement to that of the Caribbean islands. Now, this is not anything to argue about. This is actually something that cannot be denied. And when we observe the River Nile and we observe the Caribbean island chain, we notice something very unique about the island of Antigua. Now listen, as we go through this video itself, if that alone may sound strange, because many people would hear that and say, oh, come on, man, what are you trying to do? Well, when we completed this, you will see what is being done. Because that is the mystics. I just explained that the Milky Way, which is the galaxy that we are in, the Milky Way, in what appears to be its movement across the heavens, aligns with the River Nile, the Guyana that is on the planet. So we can see now the mystics at work. I didn't put that together. But yet still, observing the Caribbean island chain now, I noticed, where the island that I am on is located in the Caribbean island, which is Antigua. It is the very same place in the northeastern section where a specific city that goes by the name of Heliopolis, the city of the sun, is located. Follow me good. Now, Heliopolis in Kemet, in Africa, in Egypt, Heliopolis, the city of the sun, is also referred to as the city of the priests. And in ancient Heliopolis, according to some of the ancient writings, you have the temple to the goddess Sekhmet, 365 temples, which is obviously symbolic of the cycle of the sun. And Heliopolis, its ancient name is not Heliopolis, because Heliopolis is the city of the sun in Greek. Helio and Opolis, city of the sun. Opolis, metropolis, necropolis, city. Helio, holy city. So the city of the sun in the east, I'm speaking of in Africa, on the banks of the River Nile. Now, Antigua in the Caribbean. And as I just said, to complete the point, that Heliopolis is not the name of Heliopolis. It's the city of Anu, the city of the god On, the ancient city. Now, in the Caribbean now, Antigua, which again, mystically, if you see the alignment with the Caribbean island chain and the River Nile, Antigua is located basically in the same spot that Heliopolis would be, the ancient Anu, or I should say, the ancient On, the city of the god Anu. That's the right expression there. Now, Antigua is referred to as Sun City. That's what they call it, Sun City. If you go into the history of Antigua, the history now, Antigua is considered to be the island of the priests. Not Dominica, not Trinidad, not nowhere else, no disrespect. But in the Caribbean history, it is said that the natives of these islands at such time would come to this land to worship. Now we're getting this information from the chief of archaeologists around here. Our resident archaeologist is Dr. Reginald Murphy, as we are going now into primary evidence, an individual that have done tours and different aspects of the works alongside our resident archaeologist here in Antigua, Dr. Reginald Murphy. You know, so with such evidence, you could understand that the inhabitants of the islands would come to Antigua to worship, specifically at a place known as Green Castle Hill, which I refer to as Mount Anu. Now the mystic is, again, it's the island of the priests. It was not necessarily a place where people would live or inhabit it. Now the ancient Anu, which is in Kemet, as I said, the 365 temples. Now there are said to be 365 beaches in the island of Antigua. I'm just showing you the mystics. 365, which we all consider and we all know is the cycle of the sun per annum. 365. The mystics. Remember now, even the 108 square miles, which is the size of Antigua, the 108 square miles, even the Vatican, which is considered the holy city of the Vatican, sits on 108 acres of land. I mean, and they deal with a lot of science, the esoteric science, you understand, comprehend. So this is why now when we look into the realms, Antigua, you know, every country has a port abbreviation. Like Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken, is SSSSJU, and St. Kitts is SKB, Jamaica is KIN. The port abbreviation for Antigua is ANU. So the port abbreviation for this land is ANU or Anu, which is the same name of Heliopolis, and mystically Heliopolis is referred to as the city of the sun. Heliopolis is called the city of the priests, and Antigua is called Sun City. It has the sun in its flag. The others don't have the sun in the flag. Antigua has the sun in its flag, and the sun is the symbol of Heliopolis. I'm talking about the ancient Anu. How mystic it is. The 365 beaches. How mystic it is, again, on the same northeastern section of the Caribbean island chain, similar to the northeastern section of the River Nile. Anu 108. Okay. Interesting, at least, I'm sure. That is why when Christopher Columbus, as they refer to him as, when he came around, he didn't set foot on the land. In fact, he was the one that gave it the name Santa Maria de la Antigua, which is considered to be this holy church in Spain. Santa Maria de la Antigua, you know. So how mystic it is, even when Maria passed through the oceans just the other day. So I'm saying now that I'm working with, obviously, again, primary evidence from the archaeologists, and I have more to show you, and some of these digs and excavations, pardon me, I'm not the top Latin, Greek, and English scholar, whatever the case is, but some of these movements I personally have been on, so I could speak to exactly what is taking place. So, I mean, Antigua itself comes from the word Antigo, Antigala, which means ancient, from the ancient times. Sometimes I'm reading and I see the word antique, and it looks like Antigua, how mystic it is. So, the heights is now Green Castle Hill. I've visited Stonehenge, as you know, and Antigua is referred to as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Green Castle Hill specifically is referred to as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. And no disrespect to Stonehenge in Great Britain at all. Because we know that the ancient Africans put that in order, eh? But I am telling you, in Antigua, modern Anu now, still ancient Anu, any which way you turn it, we have a hill that we consider again, well, I consider it a national treasure. This is Green Castle Hill. And Green Castle Hill has countless, listen to me my people, Green Castle Hill has countless of megaliths. I wonder if you hear. Green Castle Hill, at the top of Green Castle Hill there are countless of megaliths. Not 5, not 6, not a lot, countless, and I'm not exaggerating. And some of these boulders, volcanic rock, diorite, literally they're taller than myself, going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet up in the air. Now I'm just showing you that the hill, what remains of the hill, huh? What do you mean? This hill is being destroyed by construction companies. Not construction, pardon me, aggregate companies. Yes, you need to do your research. This national treasure that we have here, I know why it's being destroyed. I know why. It's being demolished since 1963 or somewhere thereabouts. They have been destroying this great hill, Green Castle Hill, which, as I said, as you can see on the pictures that I'm showing you, countless of megaliths, countless, scattered, littered over this hill. All right, listen to me. Now, obviously, I mentioned Stonehenge, and anyone that's in their studies, you would know of Noptaplio in Africa, Northeast Africa, Noptaplio. And we have discussed Noptaplio in another video that we have done right on our channel, our YouTube channel, Priest Isaac YouTube channel. If you're not watching the channel, visit the channel and check the videos that we have done prior to this. And we have definitely spoke about Noptaplio, the Adams calendar in South Africa. So if you know about these ancient monuments, some people consider them to be, well, as I said, a calendar and the tracking of time and agriculture, but they're deeper than that. They're deeper than that. Stonehenge is deeper than that. So at Green Castle Hill now, listen to me good, these countless of megaliths, not just looking pretty, they are aligned with the movements of the stars. A specific astroarchaeologist, Dr. Maura Imbert, visited the island of Antigua several years ago. She was from the University of the West Indies, Trinidad. And she came and she did a study on some of the rocks on Green Castle Hill. And according to her study and her report, which we have, she said that the volcanic stones on Green Castle Hill corresponded to the movements of the heavens and aligned with the stars. Listen to me good. For example, the phallic stone, which represents what you call the obelisk or the tekin or the tekenu. We have an obelisk right here in Antigua, and our obelisk is different from all obelisks. The obelisk is said to be the penis of Osiris, the penis of Geb, the earth. Well, I'm telling you, the penis or phallic of Osiris is in Antigua. This is not an obelisk that has been chiseled out, you know, man. And this is what I'm going to get to when it comes to these stones. Because people ask, who put them there? Nobody put them there. They came right out of the earth. Oh, come on. They grew right out of the earth, just like the trees and the lemongrass that also litters the same hill. And you can prove this Remember, as I said, the hill is being destroyed. So you could just look at its wounds, the sore area, the area that has been demolished thus far. At least 1/3 of the hill is gone. And you could see the living rocks coming from beneath the earth, climbing hundreds of feet and then busting out the surface of the mountain. So if the rocks on Greencastle Hill align with the stars, there must be some magnetic energy from these stars that is pulling the molten rock, if that was the case, from that time up to align with the stars, because they are volcanic rock, and Antigua is not considered to be volcanic. Sandstone and limestone and all sorts of things, but yet still archaeologists say that Antigua was once a volcanic dome. We're supposedly living on an extinct dome of a volcano, according to some research. So Mara Imbert now, the astroarchaeologist, is saying that the phallic stone is aligned with, listen, the phallic stone is aligned with the Little Dipper, which basically means the northern celestial pole. The northern celestial pole. Specifically during the spring equinox. Please follow me. Specifically during the spring equinox, which is sighted between the 21st and the 23rd day of March. So you have the phallic stone, you have the vulva stone, you have stones on Greencastle Hill that come in the formation of thrones that you can sit on. Thrones that you can sit on. All of this is on Greencastle Hill in Antigua, and again this hill is being destroyed. So that is why certain areas you could see them beating and eating away at the mountain. Imagine that. So why would you want to destroy a unique monument or unique treasure like this? And it's supposed to be a national park. This hill is supposed to be on the national park list, and there was even some sort of effort to take it off of the national park list. Can't you understand? Oh my, even my phone agrees that there's some sort of conspiracy taking place here. But anyway, we will get back to that. Maybe that's just for some other time. Now, there's nothing like this anywhere. Well, for sure, not in the Caribbean. I'm not saying they don't have great monuments all over. But to be honest, the only thing you can compare Greencastle Hill to is a range of mountains, not a hill now, in Zimbabwe, Monomotapa, that is known as the Madobo Mountains. You need to listen to me good. The Madobo Mountains in Zimbabwe, the mountains of the great boulder. I even have rocks from the Madobo Mountain, you know, the mountain of the great boulder. The mystic here is now, in Antigua, there is a grave. You listening? There is a grave at the top of Greencastle Hill. A grave, eh? Somebody buried up there. Now, who could be buried up there? Now, one of the former colonial governors, representative of the Queen, and we still got them, eh? We still have them up to now, even though we are independent. I'm telling you. But one of the former colonial governor, coming straight from Britain himself, Governor Baldwin. It is well known that he was a homosexual. Well known, no disrespect, that's just the truth. Well known, well known. And he was the governor of the Leeward Islands at the time. And this Governor Baldwin, as I said, you know, straight from England, when he died, he told his subordinates as such, well, not when he died, but he told them when he died, that they must bury him at the top. He's at the top, you know, man. Bury him at the top of Green Castle Hill. So the former slave master told the slaves that when he kicked the bucket, that they must bury him at the top of Green Castle Hill. That's not too long ago, you know. I'm talking maybe 150 years ago. No, is it that long? No, what are you talking about? When they buried this Governor Baldwin, when they buried him at the top of the hill, the same archaeologist Reginald Murphy clearly remembered as a child visiting the whole funeral procession, as I think his father was a part of the digging committee. That's to show you how mystic it is. And mystically he has grown into an elder man now and have performed such works as identifying Green Castle Hill and bringing it out to the people and other sites across the island, you know. So just understand this. Now, why did he, Governor Baldwin, bury himself at the top of Green Castle Hill amongst all the megaliths that align with the stars? And in the same way, listen to me, Cecil Rhodes buried himself, well, not himself, but you know what I mean, at the top of the Madobo Mountains in Zimbabwe. At the top of the Madobo Mountains in Zimbabwe. In the same way you can find Governor Baldwin at the top of Green Castle Hill in Antigua, is the same way you can find Cecil Rhodes at the top of the Madobo Mountains. What is he doing there in Zimbabwe? Your chief murderer, killer. You're petting up them demonic flesh and bones and rotted away. That shouldn't even be nowhere in sight. Cecil Rhodes? Hold your Rhodes collar for yourself, brother. I can do without that. Yeah. So Governor Baldwin now obviously was of the same school of thought as Cecil Rhodes. They knew where they needed to be when they kicked the bucket. So they buried themselves amongst the stars. Yeah. Imagine that. Now, I'm going to look to sort of seal this up here. But as far as the Atlantis aspect of it now, I'm sure many of you who consider yourselves scholars, you've read the pyramid by Max Thought there, the pyramid prophecies by Max Thought. And you know, in the pyramid prophecy, it highlights a specific Dr. Ray Brown. And I'm sure if you've read it, he speaks about, you know, he found evidence of pyramids in the Bermuda Triangle, etc. But Dr. Ray Brown, in his search for Atlantis, did research in Antigua for obvious reasons, in the Antilles, as he put it, for obvious reasons. So many ones, not just him alone, many ones on this search for this Atlantis come around here seeking for evidence. Now, does it mean that because we have stellars in Antigua, not just stellars now, countless stellars, I mean, we gone into the millions, I'm not exaggerating, countless of stellars, let me keep the countless, aligned with the stars, which are countless themselves. Does that mean that you're living on Atlantis? May not necessarily mean, you know, okay, fair enough, I get your point. All right. But Governor Baldwin, he definitely knew something. Okay, listen to this. I still think that is very important that we note the mystics of Anu, ancient and modern Anu. And of course, the link ANU and Heliopolis in the east, ANU. You see, the mystics, of course, with the letter A is important. Of course, you know the Hebrew Aleph and the Greek Alpha, you know, the letter A. Even the ancient Libyans, they used the Alp, the ALP. ALP basically is another form, because A itself is very key, you know. As I said, A can be seen in such words as Anu, Atlantis, Ethiopia, which really begins with an A, Africa, Atlasa, Allah, Alps, ALP, Alps. Even Adam considered in religious circles as the first man, you see. So now Amazon, Aztec, Amen, Arabia, Asia. Okay, good. Now, so Antigua now with the A, it begins and it ends with an A. You following me? A. A is very key. The acacia wood. They call it the cassie. Acacia. It grows wild in Antigua. You don't go nowhere else around here and see the cassie tree growing. When I say around here, I mean in my so-called neck of the woods. The Caribbean I'm talking about. All them islands, you know, it's just one long stretch of islands if you don't know the region. So when I travel up and down the islands, I don't see nowhere where you have the acacia tree just in abundance like in Antigua. Even on Greencastle Hill, acacia tree. A, it begins with A and end with A, the acacia. Glorify acacia men. And at the same time now, the acacia, if you know of the acacia, this is the structure or the wood that was used in the building of the ark. The ark of the covenant. Yeah, shittim wood, the ark, and it was covered with gold. So I'm just showing you this heights for a reason, because ALP, the first letter within the North African alphabet, and you can see when you spell the word alpha, it starts ALP, HA, and ALP represents the high mountains, the Alps. That's why you have the Alps going right all through Europe, Alps, you know. Okay, high mountains, the Alps. Okay, this is very, very important here, you know. Now, if you know the history of Antigua, where I am, and let me say Antigua and Barbuda now. And Barbuda is very key, because Barbuda is spelled Barbuda, and Barbuda means the son of the Buddha. That's what it means. You know, I'm sure you know, what's his name? Jonas Bar, Jesus, and so Barbuda, the son of the Buddha. Okay, yeah, this stuff is deep, There's a specific government that is recognized as the government that has been ruling Antigua for most of its known modern history, and we're talking about before and even after the independent period. And this government is known as the Antigua Labour Party. It has reformed itself somewhat in the last few years to become the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. But whatever it is, it has gone down in history as the great ALP. That's the name of the party. ALP. ALP. Now listen, hold on. The thing is now, of course, you know I ain't got nothing to do with no politics, for sure. Just within the word, the ticks, you don't know how it is. So don't even nearly think about it. I'm just highlighting what is known historically, and because I am the Magi, because I am the mystic vibration, I'm going to show you the mystic. That's all I'm doing here. So ALP now, and what is key? ALP had a specific reign. It reigned before, but there's a specific period that lasted 28 years. And this 28-year period has really become the time frame that has kept it as, the dominant force in the mind frame of, political rulership in this land. The father of the nation, that is Sir Cornwall Bird Sr., which affectionately referred to as Papa Bird. He is the one that is considered by history to have fought for the independence and to retrieve the land from the British. Okay, good. Papa Bird. And his son Lester Bird also took the reins. Many people refer to this as the Bird Dynasty. All right, good. So the ALP ruled for this 28 years. Now something very mystic happened in the year, 2004, when a new political party, which, brought itself together over the years, took reins and took the power from the ALP. Now, the party that took the power was the United Progressive Party. And the United Progressive Party obviously had the acronym of UPP. All right. So the UPP defeated the ALP on the 23rd day of March 2004. Now, what is very key here, that even the UPP, obviously that spells up, and the term Alps already denotes high mountains, the heights, because this is one of the key thought here, if Atlantis was to sink, or if any great landmass was to sink, obviously if it did not submerge completely, the top of its peaks would remain as islands. That only makes sense. In fact, again, whether you believe in Atlantis more or not, I am positive that some of these islands on the planet are the top of continents or greater landmass that was once above the water level. And again, science can prove this. You may say it cannot prove that it was called Atlantis. Okay, I'm not going there. But it can prove that that's a fact. So again, this is the case here. The ALP was defeated by the the UPP, undefeated on the 23rd day of March. What did Dr. Mara Imbert, the archaeologist or astroarchaeologist from the University of the West Indies, Trinidad, what did she say about the 23rd day of March? She says that's the day when the power stone, the phallic stone, aligns with the Little Dipper, or aligns with the power source of the heavens, which is the northern celestial pole. On the 23rd day of March, the beginning of spring. And on that day, the UPP, which was calling itself the government in the sunshine, that's their campaign slogan, the government in the sunshine. Well, on that day, the government in the sunshine became the ruling power in Sun City, defeating the ALP. And it was Lester Bird, who was the prime minister at the time, that lost his seat to the new prime minister, Winston Baldwin Spencer. Hear the name? Winston Baldwin Spencer. Okay, I hope you got that story there. All right, let's open our Bibles now. This is serious. Okay, in the first book of Clement, that ain't in my Bible. Oh, you got one of them Bibles that them killers ripped out some of the books at the Nicene Council. Okay, anyway, Clement, you could get this maybe in the books of Eden, the lost books of the Bible. Listen to this. You listening? Let us consider that one. This is chapter 12. Pardon me, chapter 12. First Clement, chapter 12, verse 1. Let us consider that wonderful type of resurrection which is seen in the eastern countries, which is to say Arabia. Okay. There is a certain bird, okay, keyword, called a phoenix bird. Of this there is never but one at a time, I'm telling you. And that lives for 500 years. And when the time of its dissolution draws near, that it must die, it makes itself a nest of frankincense and myrrh and other spices, into which when its time is fulfilled, it enters and dies. But its flesh putrefying breeds a certain snake, some say worm, which being nourished with the juice of the dead bird brings forth feathers. Okay. And when it is grown to a perfect state, it takes up the nest in which the bones of its appearance lie, and carries it from Arabia into Egypt, to a city called Anu, Heliopolis, to a city called Anu, and flying in the open day in the sight of all men, lay it upon the altar of the sun, and so returns from whence it came. The priest then search into the records of the time and find that it returned precisely at the end of 500 years. Okay, now here's the story. Good. The phoenix bird dies. When the phoenix bird dies, it breeds a feathered snake. You know the science of the feathered snake. And the feathered snake takes the body of the dead bird, the body of the bird, and bury the bird at the top of the altar in Anu, in Heliopolis. Now I'm trying to show you that symbolically on the 23rd day of March, when Mount Anu or Green Castle Hill, the power stone or the phallic stone, was aligning with the power source of the northern heavens, on that day, I am telling you, officially, that brought to an end what people call the bird dynasty. Okay, hold on, that ain't nothing yet. That ain't, we just begin to talk. Now remember, it is said that the bird is buried at the top of Green Castle Hill. No, not Green Castle Hill, pardon me. That's not what Clement says. I am interpreting this. Clement says that the dead bird is buried at the top of the altar place of worship. Where is this altar? In Anu, Heliopolis, the city of the sun, Anu, the city of the priest, Anu, 365 temple, 365 beaches, Anu, Santa Maria de la Antigua, Anu we talking about. Yeah. At the top of Green Castle Hill, do you know there is a grave? There is a grave. Just like Clement says, at the top of the altar in Anu, there's supposed to be the grave of the bird. Now there's a grave at the top of Green Castle Hill in Antigua. And it's not the grave of a bird. It's the grave of a man that goes by the name of Governor Baldwin. Hold on, what's his name? Governor Baldwin. Repeat that, Governor Baldwin. What's the name of the individual that defeated Lester Bird on the 23rd day of March 2004 when the phallic stone aligned with the northern pole? What's his name? Oh, Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer. He's known as Baldwin Spencer. We call him Baldwin Spencer. Baldwin Spencer. That's what we call him. Now, even that great Prime Minister of Britain, Winston Churchill, his full name is Winston Spencer Churchill. Now, as our own, at the time, Prime Minister would have said, Baldwin Spencer, that he was actually named after Winston Spencer Churchill, as his name is Winston Baldwin Spencer. And yet still, Winston Baldwin Spencer, the link is that Churchill, Winston Spencer Churchill, the Prime Minister of Britain, the same place and relatively the same time of that of Governor Baldwin. If you could see the link and the mystic, and at the same time we're talking about Church Hill, a church that is a hill, and at the top of the hill, the holy place, the church, there is Baldwin. And on the mystic of the day of the phallic stone alignment, the 23rd of March, Baldwin took power. Spencer Baldwin, Winston. The power was on the hill, the church hill, where Baldwin is buried. But listen to me. The dynamics, you see, this is the mystic vibration. There's a reggae group they call the Mystic Revealers. Well, here we go. This is the vibration. And this is not just the one subject. This is why we invite you all the time to visit and revisit our YouTube channel. Don't just go with the flow and watch the next video. Go into our channel and check the different videos that we have uploaded, episodes, documentaries that we have done, and see the mystics being revealed. This is where I was born. So I'm showing you now. You see, around here, and I'm not disrespecting anyone. I'm going to say something, and it's no intention to disrespect anyone whatsoever. But there's a little rumor around here. It has become accepted, you know, the so-called rumor, let's just say a rumor, As I said, it may sound a bit disrespectful, but I'm not being disrespectful. Because since a child, since I can remember, there's always been this word sound that Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer is the brother of Prime Minister Lester Bird. I'm not going to repeat it. You can rewind and listen to it again. Now, as I said, I'm not trying to diss none of the two. If you are from Antigua or Barbuda, you know what I'm saying. It's something that everybody has heard about. And some people who may take it as a joke, there are others, I am telling you, there are others who have that as serious can be. But I ain't going no more with that. But the point I'm making is that I only brought that up to highlight the mystic. If we were not speaking of the mystics, I wouldn't even bring that up. What on earth am I doing speaking about that kind of stuff? But the point I'm making is that the book of Clement said that there's a bird. Hear me now, man. The book of Clement said that there is a bird at the top of the hill, at the top of Green Castle Hill. Well, Clement again didn't say Green Castle Hill. It said at the top of the mountain, on the altar in Anu, in Heliopolis. What I mean, we have already unraveled the mystery here. Anu, ancient and modern, 365 and 365. So again, there is a bird buried at the top of the mountain in Heliopolis. Yeah. But yet still in Anu, modern yet ancient, at the top of Green Castle Hill, there is a grave. That alone stands out. To me, that alone stands out. Is there a bird in the grave? No. Well, no, it doesn't add up. What do you mean it doesn't add up? The book of Clement said in Heliopolis at the top of the altar. Come on, we already explained why the mountain is the altar. We gave you the history. The city of the priests aligning with the movements of the heavens. It's the altar. The city of the sun, the flag and the sun city. We went through it 365, the cycle. Everything is in sync. There's nothing no one can go around. And how mystic it is that at the top of this hill, just like word for word from Clement, there is a grave. And inside the grave, no, there's not a bird, but there's Baldwin. And many people consider Baldwin to be a bird. Again, I'm not repeating that. So again, that is just because of the mystic, lightning and thunder in the heavens. That is just because of the mystics. You know, Anu, ancient and modern, Holy Manuel Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So give thanks, you know, as I said, I'm definitely inviting everyone who may be, you know, listening to such. You should subscribe to the Priest Isaac YouTube channel, and definitely, you know, you will be updated as soon as something is dropped on the table. And for sure, remember to check radioanu.com. Not only check, you gotta sit in radioanu.com. Definitely broadcasting and now live streaming radioanu.com, and you could definitely hear the best as it refers to, you know, edifying the populace on all sorts of different subject area. That's radioanu.com. And I'm very thankful for those who have already tuned in and have already locked in. I'm very thankful for your presence with us as well. And of course, as I said, Anu, Ancient and Modern, I must say that the book Anu, Ancient and Modern will also be available in ebook fashion very soon, which you will also be able to purchase directly on radioanu.com. And of course, please feel free to contribute even via PayPal, of course, hotepra at yahoo.com, or you could definitely email me at theblackshepherd@live.com, or definitely give me a call or contact me via the WhatsApp. I'm very thankful for your presence, and I'm definitely coming soon. And remember, the Tiger's Nest also, we definitely have started the program, the Tiger's Nest, very short and precise and on the point. Very thankful for those who are also loving such. Give thanks. History. If you don't know your Bible and you don't know your history and your cosmology and the science of astronomy, everything will be left in a mystery. Blessed love until Rastafari.
Ethiopia, Ghana, Quebec, Toronto, Rwanda, Chile, Trinidad, Tokyo, Beijing. Wherever you are in the world, the Honorable Priest Isaac is available to come to your town or your country to give lectures, seminars, and workshops.
To make booking, call or WhatsApp area code 268-728-3162 or contact us via email theblackshepherd@live.com.
Holy Manuel Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari, come and produce ancient maps. You know, in the sing down, ear of remembrance, the thunder ring down. Just speak the truth from start, from in front of heart, in the sing.